Today is the fifth Sunday of Ordinary Time, Cycle C. The first reading is the call of the prophet Isaiah by God to become one of his prophets. While he was worshiping in the temple, he had a vision of God and was gripped by fear and believed he was about to die. He confessed that he was unworthy and as he was a man of unclean lips. Nevertheless, God instructed an angel to cleanse and purify him by touching his lips with a hot coal that had been used to offer incense. It purified his heart, but it did not burn his lips. When God asked, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" Isaiah responded, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Jeremiah also rejected his call. When God called Jeremiah to be his messenger, the response was, "I am too young. I am too inexperienced. I am not the person suitable for this job. Find someone else." God told him he did not have a choice, but God promised him protection. Once each had accepted his mission, each was able to fulfill it with great zeal. Even when faced with danger, each could not restrain himself from proclaiming God's word. Each of us has been called to spread Jesus' message of love in a particular way, and we need to recognize, discern that call. It may be a call to the priestly or religious life, to be part of a ministry of the church, to be part of a charitable project. God does not skip anyone. Everyone is asked to do something. We need to pray to God to reveal his will for us if we have not yet discovered our calling from God. Our hearts have to be open to have an encounter with God, or we will miss the opportunity to meet him and discover what he asks of us. God does not force us to act. He gave us free will to respond in love. In the Gospel, Simon, an experienced fisherman, had a long night fishing without a catch. It must have been depressing. He was washing, cleaning his nets, and folding them when Jesus, who had finished teaching the crowd on the seashore from Simon's boat, asked him to go out back to sea. The expert here was Simon and not Jesus. Simon probably fished for 20 years. However, something must have touched Simon's heart while Jesus was preaching, because against his better judgment, Simon decided to trust Jesus' suggestion. When he lowered their nets, they caught so many fish that the nets began to tear and the boat was in danger of sinking. Do you know what type of fish they caught? In Galilee, they call it Peter's fish. We know it as tilapia. Simon immediately recognized that Jesus was a man sent by God. Falling to his knees, he said, "Depart from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." God can do great things through us if, like Mary, we're willing to trust him and to do his holy will. She said to the angel at the Annunciation, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done to me according to your word. She had to trust that God would help her husband Joseph to understand the situation, since he was not the father of the child. You do not have to be perfect to be a great disciple of Jesus. In spite of Peter's denial that he was a follower of Jesus when Jesus was arrested, Jesus made Peter the head of the apostles after he had professed his love for Jesus and promised to care for his sheep, his followers. Can you trust Jesus if he asks you to do something that seems illogical or impossible or beyond your ability? If you love and trust Jesus, God can do great things through you. Be ready to say, here I am, Lord. I'm ready to do your will.